Ladies and gentlemen, F1 enthusiasts and thrill seekers, today's topic is going to get your adrenaline pumping. We're diving into a burning issue from the heart of Formula One that has sparked intense debates across the paddock. Lando Norris, one of the brightest talents on the grid, has been handed a penalty, and this decision has stirred quite the storm. But wait, here's the twist: an ex-McLaren driver has come forward, not to defend Lando, but to stand firmly by none other than Max Verstappen. Calling the penalty firm, but fair, the former McLaren racer believes justice has been served. So the question is, was Norris rightly penalized, or did the stewards go overboard? And what exactly did Verstappen do to earn this backing? Don't go anywhere, because there's a lot more than just lap times and rules at play here. This story is layered with rivalries, high-speed drama, and some big opinions that could change how we see these drivers. Stick with me till the end, because I promise the details will surprise you, and I'll reveal some insights you won't hear elsewhere. This is not just a simple incident, it's about how drivers handle the pressure, play the game, and push the boundaries of what's fair on the track. Now, without further ado, let's get into the details. The drama started when Norris was hit with a penalty during one of the most crucial phases of the race weekend. The decision took fans by surprise, with some backing the stewards and others arguing it was too harsh. Norris has been making a name for himself as a talented young racer, always at the sharp end of the grid, fighting wheel to wheel with the best drivers. So naturally, many fans felt that giving him a penalty was unfair. But the stewards were quick to clarify their stance. They ruled that Norris violated racing regulations, and they wanted to ensure consistency across all decisions on the grid. While some people thought the penalty was a bit excessive, others, including former McLaren racer Mika Hakkinen, felt it was the right call. In his opinion, Verstappen had every right to defend his position, and Norris's move was not entirely clean. Hakkinen even said that Norris should have known better, given the kind of aggressive but fair racing Verstappen is known for. Max plays hard but stays within the limits, he noted, signaling that Norris perhaps crossed a line during that moment on track. But here's the catch: Norris wasn't too happy with the decision, and fans are still debating whether the rules were applied fairly. Was it a case of stewards being too strict, or is this just the nature of competitive racing at the top level? With stakes as high as they are in Formula One, even a small error can cost drivers points, positions, and sometimes even a place in the championship fight. Now, let's dig a little deeper into how this incident unfolded and why the former McLaren racer is defending Verstappen instead of siding with his fellow McLaren alumni. Is this a sign of changing alliances, or is it just a matter of respecting Verstappen's on-track skills? Stay tuned, because the next part will reveal exactly what led to the penalty and why it's become such a divisive topic. Now let's rewind and take a closer look at the events that led to Lando Norris getting penalized. The drama unfolded during an intense wheel-to-wheel battle where every corner counted and no driver was willing to back down. Norris was in a fierce duel, and at that moment, it seemed like a calculated risk to hold his ground. However, Formula One isn't just about bravery, it's also about strategy and precision. According to the race stewards, Norris's actions were deemed to have exceeded what's considered fair racing, which triggered the penalty. From a fan's perspective, it looked like classic racing, just two elite drivers pushing each other to the limit. But in the world of F1, the rules are clear: drivers must leave enough room for their opponents, especially when it comes to defending positions. And this is where the controversy kicked off. The stewards ruled that Norris squeezed Verstappen a little too hard, not leaving enough space for a safe maneuver. While it wasn't a reckless move, it did nudge the boundaries of acceptable behavior on the track, leading to the penalty. Now, here's where things get interesting. Mika Hakkinen, who knows a thing or two about pressure at the top, being a two-time world champion, had no hesitation in backing Verstappen. He believes Max's approach to the battle was aggressive but within the limits of fair racing. This is what top-level competition is all about, Hakkinen said, pointing out that Verstappen's defensive driving was not only skillful but also completely legitimate. The real tension here lies in the debate over consistency. Fans argue that similar incidents in the past didn't always result in penalties, and that's where the frustration stems from. When the rules aren't applied consistently, it leaves drivers confused about where the line really is. But Hakkinen's view is different. He thinks that Norris's penalty sends a clear message that F1 is enforcing the rules strictly to maintain fairness. In his words, you can't win championships without playing by the book, and Max understands that perfectly. This statement highlights something crucial: Verstappen's rise to the top hasn't just been about speed and skill, it's also about mastering the art of racing smartly within the rules. And that's exactly what sets champions apart. They know when to push hard and when to back off. So, while fans continue to argue whether the penalty was too harsh or justified, Häkkinen's endorsement of Verstappen as firm but fair adds a new dimension to the debate. Is this the kind of racing we want to see in F1, hard-fought but well within the rules? Or are the stewards being too strict in their interpretations, taking away the raw excitement of wheel-to-wheel combat? This incident isn't just about a single penalty, it highlights a much larger conversation about how modern Formula One is evolving. Over the past few years, the sport has taken significant steps to create a balance between thrilling, aggressive driving and safe, regulated racing. While fans crave the nail-biting drama of two drivers going head-to-head without fear, the stewards are under increasing pressure to ensure that no one crosses the line literally or metaphorically. And that's precisely why Norris's penalty matters more than it seems on the surface. It's no secret that Max Verstappen has built a reputation for being an aggressive racer, often making bold moves that leave no room for error. But what separates Verstappen from reckless driving is his ability to stay on the edge without falling over it. He knows exactly how far to push the car, the rules, and his opponents. And that's where Norris found himself at a disadvantage. The moment Norris tried to defend too aggressively, the stewards didn't hesitate to step in, setting an example for future races. For someone like Mika Häkkinen, this is part of the learning curve every driver must go through to become a world champion. He believes that penalties like this are crucial for drivers to understand how to manage risk without compromising fairness. Häkkinen, who raced in an era where aggressive driving was the norm, says Verstappen's approach is a perfect blend of old-school toughness and modern-day precision. Max knows how to walk that fine line, something young drivers like Lando still need to master, he remarked. This penalty also sparks another debate: should F1 drivers be allowed to race with more freedom, or is the sport heading towards overregulation? Many longtime fans believe that F1 has lost some of its rawness, as tighter regulations often prevent drivers from truly expressing their skill on the track. On the other hand, consistent enforcement of rules ensures a level playing field, making sure that every driver, whether a veteran like Lewis Hamilton or a rising star like Norris, competes under the same conditions. Häkkinen's endorsement of Verstappen shows that seasoned professionals appreciate the balance Verstappen brings to the sport. He pushes hard, but he knows when to respect the rules. Norris, on the other hand, still has to find that balance. This isn't a question of talent. Norris has already proven he can fight with the best, but it's about refining his racecraft, especially under pressure. In Häkkinen's words, Lando's fast, no doubt, but speed alone doesn't win championships. It's understanding when to attack and when to yield. As F1 fans, we're left wondering, will Norris learn from this experience and come back stronger, or will he struggle with the increasing scrutiny of the stewards? Either way, this incident has set the tone for what lies ahead in the season. Every move, every corner, every decision will be judged not just by fans, but by those who enforce the rules and shape the future of the sport. So, where does this leave Lando Norris and the rest of the Formula One season? For Norris, this penalty is not just a bump in the road, it's a lesson on navigating the fine margins between bold racing and smart decision-making. Every driver, at some point in their career, faces these defining moments, the times when they realize that speed alone isn't enough. It's about mastering consistency, discipline, and understanding when it's worth taking a risk. Looking ahead, all eyes will be on Norris to see how he responds. Will this penalty shake his confidence, or will it fuel his desire to prove the critics wrong? One thing is certain: the competition will only get tougher from here. Drivers like Verstappen have set the standard not just for raw speed but also for strategic brilliance. If Norris wants to cement his place among the top drivers, he'll need to adapt and evolve quickly. And speaking of Verstappen, his consistent ability to toe the line between aggressive and fair driving is becoming a benchmark for others to follow. With Häkkinen and other F1 veterans praising his style, it's clear that Verstappen is not just a fast driver, he's a master at playing the mental game. This is what separates good drivers from great ones, knowing not only when to push but also how to force mistakes from opponents under pressure. The bigger picture here isn't just about this single incident, it's about what kind of racing we want to see in Formula One. Are fans willing to accept penalties if they ensure fair play? Or should drivers have more freedom to push the limits, even if it means occasional contact or controversy? These are questions that will shape the sport moving forward. As the season unfolds, the tension between drivers, fans, and stewards will continue to build. With the championship battle heating up, every race will be critical, and every decision will be scrutinized. The lessons learned from incidents like these will not only affect the drivers involved but also influence how the rules are interpreted in future races. In the end, the story of Lando Norris's penalty is a reminder that Formula One is about more than just speed. It's a chess game played at 300 km/h, where every decision counts and even the slightest mistake can have lasting consequences. As fans, we can only wait and see how this chapter plays out. Will Norris rise to the occasion, or will the pressure prove too much? And will Verstappen's firm but fair style continue to earn him respect, or will it lead to new rivalries? One thing's for sure, the season ahead promises more drama, more battles, and more moments that will keep us on the edge of our seats. So fasten your seatbelts, folks, because the road to the F1 championship is just getting started, and it's going to be one hell of a ride.